Hey guys, it's Eden, and welcome back to another episode of Sports for All podcast. Today we will be discussing red belt, and red belt means danger, a warning that students' techniques are powerful and must be used with control and discipline. It says a student with advanced skills and knowledge, and it's the one below black belt. It is indeed the one below black belt, and obviously, red's my favorite color, so I was excited to get my red belt. But red belt was a bit of a journey for me in terms of contributing to the overall taekwondo journey. My red belt grading didn't do very well. I did okay enough, obviously, to pass it, but I didn't do as well as I normally would do. The pattern was quite challenging for me because it was take it seven. So it kind of started off my red belt journey in a little bit of a rocky way. Red belt's definitely one that I struggled with, and I will explain in this episode what happened and yeah, a little bump that I had. But I am very proud of myself for sticking at it. And then obviously I got my black belt and it was all go. But I was a red belt for, I know I feel like I say this at every big belt, but I was a red belt for a long time as well, even longer than red tag. I got my red belt in June 2018, and then I got my black tags eventually in 2019 in September. So my first event as a red belt was a Dublin seminar in the summer of 2018. Um, I do remember this seminar. I remember it was me and Damien and Peter traveling down to Dublin. There was another girl as well in the car, but I can't remember what her name was. I didn't really know her. She was from Queens. And again, it was our wee trio. I don't know why none of my friends went. I kind of did stuff because I was so obsessed with taekwondo that was quite different from them sometimes. So we went to Dublin and I'd only just become a red belt. I remember trying to copy everybody to learn the new pattern because I didn't really know it. And then when I got there, my friends Rihanna and Darcy were there, and I was absolutely so delighted to see them. It was so warm as well. I remember like shoving bottles of water down my neck, but it was nice to have like other kids there. And then it turns out there was other young people there as well. I made friends with Hannah. Shout out to Hannah because she might be listening to this. And I also made friends with her sister and um Nora was there as well with her brother, but she wasn't participating in the seminar. But anyway, so all the kids went home except for me and Hannah and her sister. I don't think I joined in the second seminar because I think it was for black belts. There was lower grades and then the higher grade seminar, but obviously mine was Damien, so I stayed and I was just watching and I was just so fascinated with like seeing all the black belts doing their patterns and knowing that I wasn't too far away from that. So then had a taekwondo summer by the looks of it, all fun and games. And then we get to Scotland 2018. This was actually the first one that I made the playlist for. I still have the playlist on my Spotify. Gosh, you can imagine what kind of songs are on there. Like classics from that era. One Kiss by Dua Lipa, and but also like songs Come On Eileen and YMCA, like party songs. That one was good. We had Amy with us the whole time in that one. I don't think we went traveling or anything. It doesn't look like we really went anywhere. Just lots of photos of me and the girls and Theo and Dorota and Peter. I think that was the one where we gave Peter the nickname Moose. I don't remember how that even came about. But that happened because there's a photo of a moose. I came home from Scotland, and then a few weeks later, me, Owen, Ethan, who is another one of our great friends. I think I have shouted out Ethan already, but I'll give him one now. Rihanna, Darcy, Peter. So again, basically like not a lot from my club. Me kind of doing my own thing again. We went to Manchester and the first Manchester trip was really good. I mean, the second one was even better, but the first Manchester trip was really good. Because I'd never been to Manchester before. I have a few friends there now, so shout out to anybody listening who's my friend from Manchester. It was like quite a relaxed competition. It was a few days before my 15th birthday. I had a really nice pair. He wasn't from the UK. I can't remember where he was from, but he was really nice. And then I didn't have a team, but I obviously had an individual, and I won my individual, I think. And it was just such a non-pressure competition. I think it was the first time I had ran, and it was just really nice. And I remember I remember staying up really late talking to Owen. And that's how I became like quite like close with Owen. Like we had like a really deep conversations like quite late at night. The adults were just like being adulty. I mean, he was an adult too at that point, but like yeah, we had a lot of fun. And I didn't really know Christine that well. Like we knew her, but we weren't like close with her, but we got close with her then. That was really nice. Good Manchester trip. Then we get to my 15th birthday, and there's a photo here of me, Collier, and Nora like jumping. I don't even know what we were trying to do. It was the Belfast Carogie something championships. It might have been international. I don't really remember, but it was so fun. Claudia's dad literally just took us, and then I like spent the whole day at the competition. I think from later in the morning till early afternoon. It was so much fun. There was other clubs there. There wasn't really anybody from our club there because it was like a sparring competition, so obviously we wouldn't have gone as a club to like compete or anything. We literally just had like a blast. And it's quite funny because the photo of that room was actually where I did my long COVID body rehab thing in 2023. I actually did cry like the first time I went to my rehab Pilates thing. I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but basically it was like part of this long COVID program I did in summer 2023, which the main benefit I got out of it was meeting people who had long COVID because the actual like Pilates thing literally killed me off because post-exertional malaise exists. But anyway, so it was run in the same room as we were chilling out in, and we play hide and seek. Then a few weeks later, AR got her black belt, and Richard and Ethan and Rihanna, so loads of my friends got their black belts. I just remember AR and Richard getting them, and they were like the first one in our little group who got one, and we were like, yay! So that was a really like exciting, proud moment. Um, for yeah, all of us basically. We were all absolutely delighted for them. Then again, my auntie Suze went to this one, which was really lovely. This competition was fine. I don't really remember it. This is when things got a bit tricky after that. Obviously, looking at these photos, there's still lots of outings and fun things all the way up to Christmas. But my aunt got uh really unwell. She had a surgery and she ended up in ICU in December 2018. So that was really hard. And then I also had started my GCSEs, and one of my best friends from school was really ill, so she was off. Just the friendship dynamics in the club were a bit off as well. Um, and quite a lot of stuff going on. I will not really go into massive detail, but I was due to do my black tag grading in December 2018. I think it was like a few days before Christmas. I was super stressed. I think I got thrown in last minute, so it wasn't even like I had lead up to doing my black tag. It was like quite last minute. I just remember going there and getting really stressed, not even for the grading itself, because I was definitely not ready to do it. I don't know why that decision was made, but it was. And then I um I literally just had a breakdown. I remember Dorota, I love you Dorota, me and her going for a drive. I remember Siobhan as well, massive shout out to Siobhan. She's amazing. She's got her black belt now, which is really exciting. Um she was giving me a hug, and I was like really upset and really stressed out, and I didn't want people to come and support me because I don't think I even really wanted to do it. And like I didn't know what was going on with my aunt. My parents were keeping it quite downplayed, but I obviously knew she was really unwell. I was kind of in the dark a bit. I didn't do my grading that day. I think maybe there was a bit of pressure in terms of me wanting to get to the stage where I wasn't behind my friends again, because I was behind my friends at this point. I didn't do my black tag, and that Christmas was really difficult. I'm getting a little bit emotional thinking about all this now, 'cause it was a really tough 6 months or so. And then January rolled around, and again there was friendship issues within the club and bullying, and there was a boy in our club who wasn't actually from our club, but he came to our club to train, and he basically told me that I should kill myself. And obviously that was horrendous. Like, why would you even say that to somebody? But that came up. I can't remember even the context. I don't know. People just for some reason stopped liking me and I felt quite isolated. But I also had a lot of support from Amy and Dorota, obviously, and Damien. So I knew that people still really cared about me in the club, but I just felt like, what is even the point? Like, this is supposed to be my safe space away from school and away from family stuff that was going on, and it wasn't. That was hard. It's funny now, I'm a rainbow leader online for Connect, but we did a demonstration for the rainbows. Anyway, I think the bullying settled towards March, but it went on for a little while. I was getting things thrown at me. I was getting death glares and spam calls. It was kind of quite relentless. And it didn't make me want to go to the club, but I still went. I just felt really lost and I just wasn't loving taekwondo anymore. And then in March 2019, I did my black tag grading and I came away from it feeling quite good. That went quite well. I'm quite happy with that. I did well in my Korean test. I think I might have got 100% or near enough 100%. I just was really delighted with how I done in that exam. And then a few days later, those results now. Damien had messaged mum before to say Eden had failed. And I was gutted. I was really gutted. I was definitely not the only one in my club that failed at this point. Like, I'd known a lot of people who had failed, but not none of my friends. I then found out that I'd only failed by 1%. Um, and I was so gutted. I had quite a turbulent few months with the club. I was just really upset. And I remember I went that Wednesday night and everybody was like hugging me and stuff. And I saw everybody with their new belts and I was really happy for them. But I was at a pretty low point with my confidence. I just was not loving taekwondo at all, really, at that point. I was only really going because I'd got my friendships back and kind of was still starting to feel a bit more involved and yeah, I was going because I had friends there and it was nice to see them. But at that point, it was like, why? We all have that, don't we? That was quite a low point in terms of taekwondo for me. And then there was a Queen's seminar at the end of the month, and my best friends, Claudia, Theo, Dorota, and Owen, had all done their black belt grading and they had all passed it. And I was absolutely delighted for them. And we had a Queen's seminar. And my friend Sam, who I normally did pairs with competitions, and one of my other friends, Dylan, like came up to me and they were, and like Sam, like he just like looked and he was drugged, and I was like, yeah, I know. And he was like, I'm sorry, I've been there, like it sucks. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, but you will get them. And I was like, yeah, I know. And just like that validation just really helped because I just felt like, "Oh, okay, somebody else has been through it." Like, I'm pretty sure I started crying a little bit after he said that because I was like, oh, thank you for actually saying how I feel. At that point, me and Amy were the only people who hadn't got our black belts at that point, and I remember feeling, and I think she probably felt like this too. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we felt a bit left behind because loads of things were like black belt focus because we had a lot of black belts in the club and it was so like the black belts can stay on and do this extra seminar or the black belts can go to this thing or you can start doing your judges qualification when you're black belt, and I just felt not that good about myself within taekwondo. So we got to April and I did my Northern Ireland competition. We always did the Northern Ireland competition, but it was in a different place this time. And I remember not doing massively well at that competition. I think that was the first competition and the only competition that I slightly messed up a pattern. I think I covered it pretty well, but I definitely remember like not doing that well and being in a lot of pain as well. That was when my ankles were starting to get worse. And I don't think I was even really noticing that. That probably didn't contribute massively well to the grading that I did in March and the seminars and stuff. I remember just feeling like I was doing everything wrong. But April competition was quite good in terms of fun. But I just felt loved and appreciated again, even if things weren't going massively well for me in terms of the competition and the grading front and the injury front. I felt part of the club again. Okay, so that was the April competition. Then in May 2019 we had a photo shoot And I was dealing with an injury. I'd really hurt my ankles, and my physio actually said to me, "How are you a red belt? Like your coordination is so bad." Now I know I have joint hypermobility, but my ankles were pretty injured, and I had to take quite a big step back from the amount of training I was doing. I also did like my first GCSE modules as well, so training kind of took a step back. And I could have been out of training for quite a long time, like not going to the classes or anything. But I continued to go, and Damien allowed me to get more involved with coaching the kids. I had my own little group of three or four at that point that I was taking like most Saturdays. I was also like helping my friends with their training, and I went along to the classes, and I used to do my ankle exercises at the side of the class while everybody was like doing their patterns or their kicks. I still was involved in the club and absolutely loving it. We did a photo shoot in that May, and then we also did the Hamdang. Now, 2019 Hamdang was so fun. I was basically more of a leader in that than I was a participant. So I was helping with the tattoos and the arts and crafts, helping everybody getting ready for their competitions and doing them with the younger ones so they could have somebody to copy. And as always, we'd gone the night before to help set up, and there was people from the other clubs as well. And it was quite a big hamdang, that one, and it was, well, now feature me saying it was the last hamdang that we did, and obviously COVID came. Yeah, it was just really fun. Spent a lot of time with my friends. I think summer 2019 was my best taekwondo summer, even despite my injury. We got Amy Truesdale, who's Paralympian, to come to the club. That was a really big seminar. Damien's really good friends with her, so she was able to come, and this was even before she'd gone to the Paralympics. And other clubs were there, and the kids came, and it was just like a really big seminar, but it was hosted by our club. And I remember there was a Q&A as well. And I wasn't able to get involved in that seminar as much, especially because it was quite intense kicking, but I helped out and did what I could with my ankles because they were still in quite a bad state at that point. And then I kind of started to get more confident, and by the end of the summer we had another seminar. It was at our club again, but it was a bit more serious. It was run by Queens. I think it was mostly for black belts, but I managed to go. I don't really remember anything about it except I think I got a few compliments, so I felt like things were starting to get better for me, taekwondo confidence wise, and I was preparing for my black tag grading, and this time I was getting it, like I was getting it. And then in September was Scotland 2019. That was our last Scotland, and again, super fun. Friends from all different clubs. I saw one of my friends who I'd met the year before in Scotland, and I'd competed with her a few times. I also got to go around Glasgow. Shout out to all my friends in Glasgow, by the way. Absolutely love Glasgow. We went round museum. It was really cool. I don't know why Claudia wasn't there, but me and AR and Amy, Theo was there too, and Owen, and we went round museum. It was really cool. It wasn't a boring museum like stereotypical museums. And we also went to Claudia's uncle's shop, which was really quite funny to like meet him. I remember how much fun it was, obviously, and the laughs and staying up really late having like really deep conversations. And then we got to my black tag grading, and there's a really cute photo of me and Amy. She got her red tags and I got my black tags, so we were doing good. There's a really cute photo of me and Claudia as well, like giving each other a massive hug, and there's a photo of me getting my tags off Damien. Um, the smile on my face, like I was so happy and so relieved. After what had been a long taekwondo year. So that was my black tag journey. Definitely from like April onwards, I just basically fell in love with taekwondo again and just made the most of it and really enjoyed myself. And I think it shows you like you can go through difficult patches with your sport or with anything really, but you can come back and you can love it even more. And I think I really was at my taekwondo peak and just absolutely loved it and loved everything about it, loved everybody, was growing in confidence, and it was my thing again. And I just absolutely fell in love with it, and also in different ways because I was being able to get involved in coaching. It was also really good to have that whenever I was doing my GCSEs as well. I always used taekwondo as a de-stressor and an escapism, and I just went into my own zone and just my happy place, and it was really just good to have that back again after a little bit of time where it had been quite tricky. So yeah, that is my red belt to black tag journey. The next episode, I'll be telling you about what I got up to in black tag in preparation for the big one. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed and hope you have a lovely week and weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. If you want to connect with me further, you can find me on LinkedIn at Eden Byrne, and be sure to check out all the other amazing podcasts on Be the Change Media Network.